There is nothing in Minnesota that is like that. We're looking forward to Cecil's Deli. I think it's going to cost us maybe $10 a person. But we're looking at a family of four people, $40. And I walk away thinking, well, that was kind of expensive. It was $50. I can't even imagine that. I'm telling you, you can look up Minnesota. There is not one restaurant like that here.
Andrea,
amazing.
Welcome to the Bay Area.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can't retire there. I don't think I'll be retired there.
Nobody can.
No, my Minnesota money doesn't go that way.
Well, it was always fun to have a discussion with Thomas Keller beforehand and say what I would eat and what I wouldn't. But I mean, it was, since we went back regularly enough, I didn't have to do that. They learned quickly, but it was always interesting.
So thank you for a wonderful conversation. I'm going to cut it here, and I am going to spotlight Rabbi Josh Warshawsky. As you know, Rabbi Warshawsky has been joining us over these past weeks to fill our community with music and with spirit. And he just has a wonderful way to get people filled with meaning. I attended his Midrash and music event this past Wednesday. I invite everyone to come this coming Wednesday. And one of the things he asked people to do was just share the emotions. Today's a very emotional day for a number of reasons. Obviously, there's the horrific Lag BaOmer tragedy in Meron in Israel, and also the loss of a beloved member of our community, Saul. And one of the things that I heard in Rabbi Warshawsky's class was how the music and the melodies and the singing, even during a hard and a difficult time, can really fill us with spirit and lift us up. So we're blessed to have Rabbi Warshawsky here, and he is going to lead us in our service.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thanks so much, Rabbi Ain. It's great to see all of you. Thanks for bringing all that into this space with us right now. It's great to see some friends that were with us on Wednesday, and I'm so glad to be joining your community. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, but it's nice to get to be in San Francisco, where I assume it's a little nicer than it is over here. Oh, and to even see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background too. How beautiful. I haven't seen that in a long time. Hopefully one day soon in person. But we're going to spend a little time together welcoming in Shabbat. We're going to make our way through the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, which is designed to help ready us to enter into Shabbat with calm, with joy, with a little moment of community and a rejuvenation. So we're going to start with this welcome poem written by Chaim Nachum Bialik, and it's all about the sun setting behind the treetops, going out together to welcome the Shabbat queen, the Shabbat bride, with her angels of peace and rest. The chorus is right here at the top. It's Boi Hamalka, come my queen, Boi Kala, come my bride. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Peace be with you, O angels of peace. And some of the melodies that we're going to sing tonight they might be new to you, and some of them hopefully will feel like home. We want to make sure there's a blend of melodies that feel really familiar and comfortable, and some that are going to open us up to these words in a new way, hopefully. Words that we approach every week, the same exact words. How can we think about them? How can we welcome them into our hearts and our souls? How can we allow ourselves a moment of new amidst all of the mundane that's happening? That's what Shabbat is about, rejuvenation, allowing us to feel something new in our lives. So we're going to start with Boya Malka. Hopefully you'll join in whenever you feel ready. As we mentioned, if you're with us on Wednesday, and as you know, the only way for us to sing together in Zoom is for everybody to be on mute, and that was a good idea to have the headphones in also. But if you're together, hopefully you can at least hear each other's voices also. It goes like this. Boya Malka, Boya Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Boi Hamalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. It's the whole chorus. Boi Hamalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Achama merosh, ha'ilanot nistalka, bo v'neitzeh Shabbat Hamalka. Hinehi yoredet hakdosha verucha ve'ima malachim tzva shalom umenucha boi Hamalka boi kala shalom aleichem malachei Shalom, Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Just the word Shalom. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Shalom, Malachei Shalom. Let's try that one more time. Just starts with Shalom. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom. Boi Hamalka, Boi Hamalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Boi Hamalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. All right, Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue into Kabbalat Shabbat. We'll sing Yedid Nefesh, and every time, or I try and look at these words and find something new in them every single week when we approach them. And today I'm thinking about the last verse here, Higale na ufros chaviv alai, and I'm thinking about it as I'm here in the speaker view, but if you want, I've made my screen a gallery view so I can see everybody else also. And this line, Higale na ufros chaviv alai, right? Reveal yourself to me and provide me comfort, provide me with loving comfort, a sukkah. And right now I'm looking out at everybody's screens, and we have these boxes of coverings over us, but I'm getting to see everyone's faces and getting to do that in a way that sometimes when we're in the sanctuary, we don't get to do, right? I don't know, I actually don't know how your sanctuary is shaped, but in a lot of sanctuaries, everybody's looking at the back of everybody's head. Are you in a circle? Yeah? It's kind of like, okay, I'm seeing some shapes.
It's kind of like a football field.
Okay. All right, yeah, okay. I think I can picture that. Okay, we're
It's
going
a
up like this, right?
bowl. It's a bowl.
It's
like
a bowl. Oh,
That's
okay.
what it
Thank
is.
you.
It's a
Thank you.
bowl.
It's a bowl. Okay, so we have the opportunity both to look around the room and see each other and acknowledge each other's presence, which is something really powerful about being together, and actually something that's really special about Zoom. And at the same time, usually when you're looking out at the people around you, you don't have the opportunity also to look at your own face, and it's a challenge on Zoom to not look at yourself. Right? It's a challenge to look at the other person in the screen. And so, this is what this Higalana is all about. It's allowing yourself to be open to another person and trying to look directly into everybody else's eyes and not to look at your own screen. There's actually a feature on Zoom that you have to look really hard for, which says hide your own video. And it takes a lot of difficulty to hide your own video, to trust that you're fine and you're going to look fine and it's going to be okay. And you can put on those Zoom features that make your cheeks a little rosier and it's going to be fine. And just to allow yourself to acknowledge and look out at the other, look out at the person and make a connection. And so while we're singing Yedid Nefesh right now, we're just take a look at the people on the screen here who we just got together with. I got to be a part of the L'chaim and hear some of the restaurants we're hoping to go to together and feel some people are really just missing being together in person, right? Just getting to host each other in our homes. So here we are, looking out into each other's homes. So we'll take a moment and sing this Yedid Nefesh, open ourselves up to each other, to the possibility of being back together soon. Ay, 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 make our way into the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. There are 6 Psalms, one for each day of the week that leads us into Lecha Dodi, one for each Psalm that leads us to Lecha Dodi, that leads us to Shabbat. So you'll notice that most of the verbs in Kabbalat Shabbat are written in the plural, Lechu. These are things we're supposed to be doing together, and we're celebrating, right? We had that moment when we were making our way into Shabbat, and now here we're imagining what it's going to be like, how to bring that joy. Nariya. So I'm going to call out the word Nariya. Hopefully you'll sing it back to me. Anybody who is with us on Wednesday, hopefully you'll help us out. Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya letzorishenu nekadma fanav betodah. Nariya, nariya letzorishenu fanav v'toda. Nariya, nariya l'tzorishenu. Nekadma fanav v'toda. Bizmiron nariya lo. Bizmiron nariya lo. Bizmiron nariya lo. So I was gonna make my way from there into something familiar, but I hope you'll indulge me in one more that feels a little new for today before we hold on to something that feels at home. And the reason is that today is Lag BaOmer. Today is Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day in the Omer. And, there's a Kabbalistic counting that has to do with all the different characteristics that we're supposed to be thinking about as we're growing, as we're making our way towards receiving the greatest gift that the Jewish people ever received, the gift of the Torah. And so we think about all these different... That's better. We think about all the different ways that we can grow, that we can help ourselves out with different characteristics, tiferet, and netzach, and endurance. And this week, the week is Hod, which is humility. And today is Hod Shebahod, humility within humility. But it's interesting because outside of the counting of the Omer, the word Hod doesn't really mean humility. The word Hod means beauty. Right? When we say Hidur mitzvah, the beautification of a mitzvah, it's beautiful. And there's something conflicting in the word Hod meaning both beauty and humility. Right? These seem like in some ways they're kind of contrasting terms. And so what does it mean to be able to find beauty in humility? Right? And to not just be thinking about how to beautify something, but what does it mean to beautify something? It means to open it up to humility. What is humility? Humility is acknowledging that there's more to the world than just yourself. Right? It's pouring out a little of your own ego so that it can be filled up by other people, by God, by the rest of the world, by gifts that you can receive. That's what it means to be humble, right? So humility is really, Hod is it comes from the word hoda'ah, from acknowledgement, right? If we can acknowledge the gift that we receive from other people, the gift that we receive from God, the gift that we receive from just being a human in the world, that's how we can begin to feel humble, and that's how we begin to notice the beauty in the world around us. And these words are right here in the Psalms. They're sitting right here in Psalm 96. Hod ve'hadar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Beauty and splendor before God. Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Strength and majesty in God's sacred place. And we say almost the exact same sentence on a weekday. Instead, we say almost these exact same words. Hod ve'hadar lefanav, oz v'chedva b'mkomo. Right? We say it's something in God's place, b'makom. But on Shabbat, we call it a mikdash. And that's the difference, right? How can we turn just a regular place, these places where we're sitting all the time, right? Here we are in our homes, in the spot where you probably sit when you join most of your Zoom meetings. And how can we turn that from a makom, a regular place, into a mikdash, into a place that feels holy, into a mishkan, into a place where we're residing here together? And so we're going to sing these words, just going to meditate on this phrase, Hod ve'hadar lefanav, just a little bit. And as we do, we'll try and think about how we can beautify the space. What's it going to be? What's it going to take to flip the switch in your mind that turns this spot where you're sitting right now from a makom, from just a place into a mikdash, a place for Shabbat, a place for holiness, a place for connection. Hod ve'hadar. That's the whole first part. לתפארת מקדשו. We're gonna come out. The next psalm right at the bottom, we're gonna sing Or Zarua. Bring a light shining out for the roaches. Or Zarua, Lat Tzadik, Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, Lat Tzadik, Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, Lat Tzadik, Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. We'll make our way into this last psalm before Lecha Dodi. This last moment before Shabbat really arrives, before we say Lecha Dodi, that's the moment after those 6 psalms. And here in this psalm, right, all the psalms are written with a lot of intention. It's poetry. And here in this psalm, we notice that the words Kol Adonai appear 7 times, right? The voice of God. 7 times in this psalm. 7, very holy number in Judaism. And coming from all these different places, Kol Adonai in the strength, Kol Adonai behadar in the beauty, Kol Adonai shover arzim, it breaks the cedars. Is it coming from the forest? Is it coming from the mountains? There's a lot of nature metaphors in Kabbalat Shabbat. So the question here, as we're going to be singing this psalm together, Mizmor LeDavid, where are you going to be hearing God's voice today? Where are you going to be able to hear? Where are you going to be able to feel Shabbat coming in? As we sing out these words together, Mizmor LeDavid, a psalm from a human being, from David, right? These words are written by human beings, expressing the emotions that they were feeling when they were pulling themselves into humility and noticing the beauty that was happening in the world around them. If you want to rise up together in body or in spirit, or stay where you are, Mizmor LeDavid, the words are right here on the side. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod va'od, Havul Adonai, Kevod shemo yishtachav l'Adonai ve'adat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain Adonai Yevarech et Amo B'Shalom Ayay nay 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 ay ay nay 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 ay 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 nay 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 and nay 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 and nay 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 and nay 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 and nay 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 and nay 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 and nay 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 ay nay 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 ay 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 nay nay ay nay 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 ay ay nay nay. Shabbat Shalom. We'll take a seat one more time as we make our way into Lecha Dodi. We're going to sing two different melodies for Lecha Dodi today. We'll make our way from one into the other. We had a special request, which I haven't played in a really long time, so I'm really excited, and I haven't done it on Zoom, so we'll try it out, and we'll see how it goes together. Gary, you got to help me. Here we go. Diddy lecha dodi, diddy likrat kalam, diddy penne Shabbat nekabela. Diddy lecha dodi, diddy likrat kalam, diddy penne Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kalam. You're catching on. Penne Shabbat, penne Shabbat nekabela. Shamor bezachor bedibur echad yishmianu ela meuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemu letiferet velitila. Lecha dodi v'kakala pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor haberacha. Nerosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Mitash melech melucha kumitzei mitoch hafecha. Rav lach shevet b'yemek avacha vehu yachamol alaychem la. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Hid na'ari me'afar kumili shivigdei tifar techami. Al yad ben yishai beit alach mikorva el nafshi ge'ala. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala. Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri kiva orech umiori. Uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Diddy di. Ay 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 nay ay nay 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 ay nay 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 nay. Diddy ay nay 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 ay nay 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 ay nay 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 nay. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Ligat Kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Tevoshi velo tikami matish dochachni umatemi vach yechesu aniye ami venitneta niraltila lecha dodi ligat kala Kabbalat, lecha dodi, ligat kala, penei Shabbat Kabbalat. V'hayu lim shisa shosayich, v'rachaku kol mevalayich, yasis alayich. Yaminu small tifrotzi v'et Adonai taritzi al yadish ben partzi v'nismecha ben nagila lecha dodi ligat kala Welcome to Shabbat Queen, our last verse. Boi b'shalom ateret bala. Boi b'shalom ateret bala. Gam besimcha u'b'tzahala. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Boi chala.
Shekoach to Rabbi Warshawsky. Beautiful song, as I put in the chat there. Rabbi Warshawsky sang that song to Rabbi Russell as she walked down the aisle at her wedding. It was really lovely. Thank you for leading us. I just wanted to take a moment now to say hi to everyone. So first, let me say hi to you, Rabbi Warshawsky. If you could unmute yourself here for a second, let me say hi to you.
Hello. Hello.
So I used to run this program in New York called the Friday Night Jam, in which I'd have rock musicians come and other musicians come, and they would play music, and then I'd interrogate them or interview them. So where are you from? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Chicago.
You're from Chicago. What were your early musical influences? What, like, you know, when you first, like, when did you fall in love with music? Was it, to whom was it?
There were a whole lot. It was eclectic taste. It was like a lot of it was happening in like the late 90s, early 2000s, but also like the Beatles and Elton John, and then at the same
Like
time
Limp
like
Bizkit, what late 90s? Is that Limp Bizkit?
that
Is
was
he
like
into
Sum
that?
41. Sum 40 is like or like Jason Mraz and those singer songwriters in the Dave
Yeah.
Matthews Band and
I could
and
hear a
Death
little.
Cab
I
for
could
Cutie.
hear a little like Graceland, Vampire
Oh yeah,
Weekend, and that.
yeah.
Yeah, totally right.
Absolutely. And then like a mashup of like Debbie Friedman and there, some other thing like Jewish like folk music.
And then you just merge that together with the rabbinate.
That's
really
right.
lovely. And what
Yeah.
is Nava? So for those who don't know, what is Nava Tehillah?
Nava Tehillah is a really wonderful musical community in Jerusalem. When Rabbi Russell and I were living in Jerusalem for the year in rabbinical school, we were roomies, and we spent the year singing it with Nava Tehillah. They have a once a month Kabbalat Shabbat service where they've written like 40 or 50 melodies for all the different psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, and we rotate them and sort of hone in on one line or two lines at a time and try and think about how those specific lines can impact us and bring us into Shabbat. In a unique
And
way.
you're a part. Is it a musical troupe? You're a part
So they
of.
have
It's a
there's two
Tehillah,
main
it's a-
musicians. There's two main musicians, Daphna Rosenberg and Yoel Sykes, and a Rabbi Ruth Gon Kagan. The three of them founded it. And every year, there's a rotating group of like American musicians who happen to be in Israel every year. And so they bring in a couple of them to be a part of their musical band. They call them the Levi'im, the Levites, because they were the ones who brought music back in the temple.
Oh, very nice. So the one question I always asked, which was always put everybody on the spot, which was, can you give me one time, just one time, it doesn't have to be musically related, but just one time in your life in which you felt the spirit of the divine with you? Do you have one moment that you can share with us in which you felt that? It can be music related as well.
Yeah, it turns out that the first thing that came to my mind was something musical. I spent around this time of year, every year, there's a conference at Camp Olenseng Ruby Union Institute in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. There's a music conference run by their reform movement called Havana Shira. And I've been going for the last 10 or so years. Last year was the first year in a really long time that I didn't go. And every night of the conference, in addition to having all these amazing musicians and teachers, like 300 people, there's like an open mic night where different people can get to share and showcase their music. And you never know when you're going to be. You sign up and you get somewhere on the list. And it turns out that in 4 or 5 years ago, I got put on the list, and I ended up being the very last slot on the Saturday night. The conference was going to end on Sunday, and because the conference is going to end, they just like let it go all night until everyone's gotten a chance to go. And it ended up being around 4 a.m, and I still hadn't gotten the chance to go. And there were like 10 or 15 people left in the room, and I was kind of sad that there wasn't going to be a crowd to get to hear this melody. That was this melody that I still consider. I think it's the best melody that I've ever written. We'll share it at one point in our classes on Wednesdays. It's called Va'ani Asher Uzecha. It's about opening up and singing our strength together. And I realized that because I was last, I didn't have to follow like the 4 minute time limit or the rules about being up at the front of the room. And so it got to be 4 a.m, and they call me up, and I'm sitting and I decided to just sit in the middle of the room and turn my chair around and have everybody just turn their chairs around to me. We started with 15 people. We started playing this song. And then suddenly I looked around the room and there were 50 people that had just showed up as we began to sing this melody with complicated Hebrew words that people had never experienced before. And we're all singing the mantra, which is these last 3 lines, Uzi Elecha Azamera, I'll sing out my strength to you. And there's these harmonies that are coming out, and there's like 40 or 50 people that are singing, and you could feel there was like a weight to the music in the space. You could feel that it was something was happening in the room that was beyond just the voices that were gathering there. And so I was it's a very foundational memory for me with music and spirituality.
Amen. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating,
for
for sharing your voice and your music with us. And Rabbi Warshawsky is going to be joining us for the next 3 Wednesdays at 5:30 for more music and more singing and more midrash. Let me say hi to Judy and David. Thank you for leading the L'chaim. Shabbat Shalom to Gary Sokol. It's good to see you as always. And Shabbat Shalom to Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom to Daniel. Pat, you got your whole mishpacha here for its 6-yard site, So it's good to see your whole family here. Sandy and Gary, it's good to see you. Shabbat Shalom. David Bear, Shabbat Shalom. Lori, good to see you. Noah and Andrea. Ellen, it's good to see you. Shabbat Shalom. Rindy, it's good to see you. Jessica, How are you? And Brad, nice to meet you, Brad. How are you doing? I know Jessica, but it's the first time I met Brad. How are you? Nice to see you. Aura, I saw you dancing. I saw you boogieing. I did. I saw you up and dancing. It was great. Bob and Susie, it's great to see both of you. Shabbat shalom. Hello, Betty. How are you? Stuart, it's good to see you. I always love your comments in the chat. Randy, Giants still looking good. We're still looking all right, still hanging in there. Alex, you must be Jessica's brother. Are you Jessica's brother? All right. And who's the little girl? Who's the girl? You got to unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
Ellie.
What's your name?
I'm Eleanor Jackson Moses. I like people calling me Ellie.
Oh,
That's my nickname.
how old are you, Ellie?
5 3/4.
Yeah, I have a son about your age, and he likes to be called Shimmy. So that's what he goes with. So it's good to see you. Shabbat shalom. Marlene, Shabbat shalom. Marilyn, Shabbat shalom. Thank you for all of your support, and you're beautiful. If anybody wants to see a beautiful Devar Torah, the take-home Torah Marilyn did is wonderful. Sandra, Shabbat shalom. Kermit and Jean, good Shabbos. Abby, Shabbat shalom. Who haven't I gone to? Todd, I saw you do your little spin move there with your camera. You make me dizzy. You must become dizzy yourself. Quinn, Shabbat shalom. It's good to see you. Hello, Marcia. Good Shabbos. Karen, Shabbat shalom. Jackie, good Shabbos. Alan, it's good to see you. The Russell Katz family, good Shabbos. It's good to have you here. Randy, Sharonda, Maureen, and Ruth. Tracy and Samuel, Alan and Betsy and Julie. Shabbat shalom. Look at this. We even have little Ariana who's going to get spotlit right now. There is baby Ari. Shabbat shalom to Rabbi Russell, who is joining us from her maternity leave. I just had a few words that I wanted to say very quickly. It's interesting. The Torah portion is Parshat and more, and we think about so much of our world and the social media and technology. You know, the Torah teaches there are two main different words to speak or to communicate. We either hear Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Israel, that word ledaber, or lemor, amar. So in this week's Torah portion comes from the word amar, to emor. And this is really where Moses is talking to the priests, and he has to explain to them that their role is similar to the role of his brother Aaron, and that is the role to be responsible to communicate with people. Now, when Moses could come down and give the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 statements, the 10 conclusions, which can be understood in isolation and abstraction, the Amirah, or the Emor, that is spoken by the leaders of the community always has someone in mind, someone who is listening and someone who is hearing. And so what is so special about this community and the conversation that we have is that we're not spitting social media have-tos and absolutes at each other. We're not debaring to each other black and white and right and wrong, but rather we're participating in some amirah, some sort of dialogue that is interpersonal and that requires someone to be on the other end of what it is that we speak. And I just, I want to take a moment as we turn now. I'm going to read the list of mourners of those who have passed away for the Mourners Kaddish in our community. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the strangeness of this day. This is Lag BaOmer, and historically the day of Lag BaOmer is the day in which the plague subsided, in which the deaths stopped. And that has not been the case this year. And this Lag BaOmer, there was an awful tragedy in Meron, Israel, the worst non-military tragedy I believe that country has had, of a whole bunch of people who gathered together to celebrate Lag BaOmer last night. And this morning we lost our beloved Saul Silver, who has held up our community and our minyan and was the biggest mensch that I think any of us knew. Just a wonderful, warm-hearted guy. And what I learned about him recently and in recent months is, in addition to being a mensch, he was also a genius. and a brilliant man who led a brilliant life and a brilliant career. And often you don't see those two categories and qualities come together, but it did in Saul. So the funeral for Saul will be Monday morning at 11 a.m. The notice went out just about an hour ago to the community if you haven't seen it. And there will be Shivas Monday evening online at 6 p.m. and again online Tuesday at 6 p.m. in memory of our beloved Saul. And we also remember those who passed away during this past month. We remember our beloved Yitzhak Chodak, who passed away just a couple of weeks ago. And we remember Joseph Foreman, Steve Foreman's father, who passed away during the past month. And those for whom we will be observing a yahrzeit this upcoming week, we remember Gerda Baer from Dr. Betty Miller's family, Doris Berman, Russell Berman's wife, Leonard Bernstein, Marion Bernstein's husband, Norman Colliver, Susie Colliver's father, Nomi Ender, Tomer Altman's grandmother, Molly Friend, Don Friend's family, Leah Grin, Flo Kimmerling's grandmother, Shirley Kimmel, Eva Lynn Liebman's aunt, Itzik Moses, Pat Blackburn's husband, Jessica Moses's father, and Alex's father, and Ellie's grandfather. Beatrice Rauch, Chana Orner's sister. Alfred Reinhardt, Joan Reinhardt Reese's family. Laura Richkind, Edward Richkind's mother. Goldie Rosen, Judah Rosen's family. Sidney Ross, Dane Ross's father. Sonia Scheck, Janet Frost's mother. And Ben Snyder, Judy Leish's father. Are there any names that I have not included or that anybody would like to add at this moment? I invite all of those who are observing a yahrzeit or in mourning to please rise and you are welcome, if you so desire, to unmute yourself as we turn to the mourner's Kaddish, which is found on page 24 of your prayer book. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'alma yivra yutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uve'yomechon u'b'chayei techol Beitz Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman karif ve'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'olam Ula'omei Omaya. Yitbarach V'yishbach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei V'kudsha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushvichata V'nechemata Tamiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May God grant peace to all of those who are in mourning and comfort to all of the bereaved. And let us respond, Amen.
Amen.
May all of their memories continue to be a blessing for us. We have 5 minutes left in our service. Announcements, Rabbi Warshawsky, this coming Wednesday at 5:30. Oh, this Wednesday's a big day. Ephraim Margolin and I are going to mix it up at lunchtime. If you want to hear me and Ephraim argue over Choni the Circle Maker, that should be an exciting lunchtime discussion. That's I know, Jessica, I see you. You're going to be there, Jessica. I see that. You can't hide from me. Let me turn it over now to Rabbi Warshawsky, who will take us into Shabbat.
Thanks so much, Rabbi, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's been so wonderful to get to gather together with all of you and welcome in Shabbat. I really hope if you want to come join in, we're going to talk through some more melodies. We're thinking about in the Music as Midrash classes how we can use our understandings of the words and then use these melodies to help elevate the emotion that the words are already trying to describe. How can we understand the words that we're using when we pray and to open up the words of our own hearts and use these melodies to emote, to really feel them. So hopefully you'll join us for any of the following Wednesdays. We got 3 more. This past Wednesday, we focused on Kabbalat Shabbat, but we got a whole lot more melodies to go in the future. But for right now, we're just going to end the same place we began. As the sun is now beginning to set beyond the treetops, we'll go out together. What does it feel like to really welcome Shabbat in? If you haven't flipped that switch yet to make Shabbat enter into your space from a makom, just a regular place, into a mikdash, into a holy space, now's the time. See you all again soon. Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Achama Merosh, Ha'ilanot Nistalka, Bo v'neitzeh likrat Shabbat Hamalka. Hinehi yoredet hakdosha berucha, ve'ima malachim, tzva shalom u'merucha. Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Boi Amalka, Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach. Thank you again to Rabbi Warshawsky. Really beautiful. Shabbat Shalom, Ora. Shabbat Shalom, Julie and Quinn and Jackie and Alan. Shabbat Shalom, Todd and Jean and Daniel. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much again. Okay, Jessica, I'll see you on Wednesday at noon. I look forward to it. Take
Put
care,
it in the
everybody.
calendar. Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye. Shabbat Shalom.